Hey, how's it going? It's November 25th, 2022. This is your Daily Sweet Talk. All right. So, um, isn't it interesting how with film franchises, um, Hollywood loves to keep making more and more and exploiting these franchises and milking them dry for every cent they're worth until people just are not interested anymore. And um, people, in general, the public seems to be sick of this trend, and rightly so. That we just keep getting sequel after sequel of movies that do not need them, etc. You know the whole thing. You know how the system is. But when it comes to video games, when video games do the same thing, people love that. People are just waiting for the next sequel and the next sequel and the next sequel for every game franchise. And if a game franchise stops and doesn't make another sequel, people are like, what went wrong? Why are there no more sequels to this game? Why did this franchise stop? I just think it's weird how when it comes to movies, um, if there's just one game and there's no sorry, if there's just one movie and there's no sequels, that's great. That's fine. That's good. Or if there's two movies and there's no more sequels, even that's good. That's fine. When it comes to games, if they make one or two games and then they stop entirely, it's like, what happened? What went wrong? It's just a very different conversation around these two types of media. It's strange. Obviously, games and movies are very different, but games, a lot of games have narratives and stuff. It's like okay, so I guess part of it is with games. A lot of the early games. I guess part of it is, let me start that thought over. I guess part of it is gaming technology was advancing so much in its early days, that sequels were in a way sort of like remakes. They would have new stories and everything, but it's like, let's see what else we can do with this game now that we have like all this new technology and stuff. But on the other side, though, when it comes to movies, because movie technology has also advanced a lot, but I guess maybe sometimes for the worse. But you could say that for games too, I think. But because, like, I don't know, because if you tried to remake a classic movie under that same sort of principle, where it's like, well, let's see what we can do with this story now that we have more ways to tell this story, new technology and everything, people would be like, "Oh, don't mess with the classic." But if you tried to, but if it was like Nintendo saying, "Okay, let's remake this old Zelda game," it's like, okay, great, let's let's see it with these new graphics and new textures and everything. I want, or even it can go as far as to, like, because you can't. There's no streaming apps for games and stuff. Not really. There's sort of like subscription programs or whatever. But it's like, there's all these streaming services to watch old movies on. Sort of. Not really. Not as many as there should be. But there's places you can watch old movies. You can buy DVDs and stuff. But with games, you can't. When it comes to old games, if I think that's kind of another reason why people liked for the franchises to continue and for the remakes to be made, because that's the only way to keep playing these games. When it comes to an old movie, you can just watch any old any old movie. You can buy it. You can go from the library, whatever. But you can't get an old game from the library. I don't know. Maybe it's because games, a lot of games, old games are like broken now, and a lot of old movies you can still, they keep reprinting them. You can still watch. I don't know. Very different. I think it's interesting